We're also now seeing, individuals that are choosing to completely work from themselves. So we have 2 sessions left. We are behind schedule, and I do apologise for that, but we are going to try and catch back up. So 2 sessions left. One being on open talent and the solution of open talent, well, open talent being a solution to the skills crisis. The second being a fantastic case study from WebHelp on their very real use of impact sourcing. So without further ado, I'd like to move on to open talent as a solution, and I'm absolutely delighted to introduce fellow GSA Council member, but Chief Exec of the Open Assembly, Barry Matthews. Barry, welcome, and over to you.
Thank you, Kerry. I will get through this in 10 minutes, so I'll help you to make up some time. Hopefully you can hear me and see my screen.
Yeah, all perfect. Thank you very much, Barry.
Excellent. So as Kerry says, I'm Chief Exec of Open Assembly. We are a research and advisory business. We were formed with Harvard University in 2019 as part of their Innovation Science Lab. And we are, as I say, a research and advisory business helping organizations to think differently about the way they access talent, typically through digital platforms. And I'll try and bring that to life for you over the next few minutes. And I'm going to put my stopwatch on to make sure I don't go over. So on Sunday, I received a newsletter, as I do every Sunday, from this chap, Rishad Tabakawala. You may have heard of Rishad Tabakawala. He was Chief Growth Officer at Publicis Group. He was described by Times as one of the world's top 5 innovators. He's a futurist and sort of very forward thinking guy. The newsletter, by the way, is called The Future Doesn't Fit into the Containers of the Past. I think about 30,000 of us get it every Sunday. And when I was reading it on Sunday, he mentioned something about the future of work and what we describe as open talent, which I've put on this slide sort of verbatim because I thought it was really interesting. So he basically said, imagine if you were a company starting today and you were asked to choose between door A and door B. I even put little pictures of door A and door B on the right there. But he says, if you open door A, you'd be limited to accessing talent who can afford to live near your headquarters or must work full time. This talent only works for you. It's reliant on their entire income on you, which could make them loyal, but also potentially less likely to challenge the status quo since they may have limited optionality. This door gives you great control over your people and a return to a simpler way to manage and organize. That, if you like, is the more traditional way of accessing talent, a closed mindset, if you like. If you open door B, the yellow door, you can access talent from anywhere in the world. They can work for you half, 3/4, or full time, giving them and you the ability for variability and employee cost, and gives them the flexibility to fit their work into their life versus fitting their life into their work. This door gives you the ability to hire diverse talent, attract people from everywhere in the world, while giving you flexibility on cost management, but it does increase complexity and requires enhanced management styles. Now this, if you like, is open talent. This is what our organization, Open Assembly, is trying to enable for organizations. And Rishad goes on to say, for businesses needing to attract white collar and knowledge workers, asking people to return to the office for 3, 4, or 5 days a week versus coming together for specific training, creative, or relationship building events is in effect choosing door A, and will likely leave these firms at significant competitive disadvantage to companies who choose door B and find a way through this initial messiness and complexity. And what we do at Open Assembly is we hold the keys to open door B for global enterprises. We're basically a guiding light through that initial messiness and complexity. So on the left-hand side, you see a playbook that we've written with Harvard University. We're writing a book with Harvard Business Press right now, which is effectively the instruction manual for how to access open talent. So potentially millions of freelance professionals that you're able to supplement your workforce with, not for everything, obviously, but for certain specific tasks, almost like bringing the gig economy into the enterprise. And then the right-hand side, we are custodians, if you like, of the open talent economy. We track over 600 different technology platforms that provide people, freelance people from around the world, and enable them to work for us all. And we use freelancers in our business all the time through these open talent platforms, and we help organizations to do that at big scale. Now, if you think about it, if I take a step back and think about, well, why do I think, you know, open talent, this new way of thinking about skills, is going to really transform the way we work? And I fundamentally think it will transform the way we work. I cannot imagine a scenario where we are not using digital talent platforms to match supply and demand. And if you think about the way we use platforms for just about everything else and every part of the enterprises that we work in, we've not really been using digital technology to transform the way we access skills until now. And we will inevitably be, and we are seeing a huge increase in the matching of supply and demand using digital platforms, freelance open talent platforms. And we describe the term open talent, and it's like a philosophy. It's the way you think about, you know, open source transforming software or open systems. We use the word open talent to thinking about your organization, not just as employees, but as a networked organization, as an ecosystem of skills from different sources. So taking an open mindset to the way you think about talent. And the Institute for Corporate Productivity statistic, which I've stolen with pride, says that organizations that embrace open talent models are 3.5 times more successful than those that don't. And as I say, when we talk about open talent, we're looking at external talent exchanges, you know, gig worker or freelance platforms, crowdsourcing, cooperation or internship and apprenticeships, like micro internships that you see at universities hosted by platforms like Parker Dewey or Unibees, you know, internal talent marketplaces. So they come in all shapes and sizes, and those that embrace open talent are more successful than those organizations that don't. And the book that we're writing with Harvard, we look at 3 specific use cases for open talent. And if you use all 3 of these, then you're classed as what we call a networked organization. The first is the open talent ecosystem. So enabling an organization to tap into multiple different sources of talent supply on a freelance, on-demand, elastic basis. It's almost like a public cloud, a public talent cloud, and a private talent cloud. And you have the opportunity to access both. And this might be accessing skills in marketing or in sales or in finance or in graphic design from organizations like Upwork or freelancer.com or Fiverr, or it might be accessing private talent clouds of highly vetted, highly skilled individuals to provide a service that's done on a fixed price project basis, for example, with organizations like Turing.com, or distributed, and you may have seen just got a 30 million investment from BT or Gigster, for example. Getting access to these skills at a time when skills are so difficult to come by is incredibly beneficial to organizations, and we enable that at scale. We're seeing more and more organizations do that. The second example is an open innovation platform. So you may have heard of a HeroX or a Wazoku or a Topcoder, enabling organizations to access different ideas, different thinking, different product ideas, different solution ideas, using a crowdsourced based approach. And then the third is enabling that same technology, but for your internal employees. So an internal talent marketplace. And just to bring those to life for you very quickly, you know, NASA, who we work very, very closely with, has 17,000 employees, but they have access to the passion and talent of 110 million additional experts through 40 digital platforms. They've been doing this for a decade now. They just had the 10th anniversary of their Center for Collaborative Innovation. And so they access the platforms that you can see on the left there for open talent, for talent clouds, for open innovation, and they have an internal crowd called NASA at Work. So they get everything from software development and design and marketing to ideas to improve the predictability of meteor storms in space, or design some of the products that go inside a spaceship. Incredible case study for how you can really use an open talent model to improve productivity and efficiency for an organization like NASA. Unilever embraced all sorts of different ways of accessing talent, but particularly internal talent marketplaces. And they use a product called Gloat, As you can see there, unlocked 500,000 hours, improved overall productivity by 41%, 70% of people doing cross-functional assignments. So improves retention, reduces attrition just at a time when you need to focus on that. So internal talent marketplace is another way of thinking about open talent. UST are a digital transformation partner to many of the world's large organizations. About 30,000 people have really embraced open talent, working with a number of different platforms, but particularly Upwork, transform the way they access talent and provide it to their customers alongside their brilliant full-time staff. Used to take them 2 months, now takes them 3 days. 116 contracts just with Upwork last year. This is not just individuals, this is projects as well. And 4.8 out of 5 in terms of customer and internal teams feedback. It transformed the way they think about talent. They augment their existing teams and their client teams. You can see on the left-hand side, UST client demand for skills, into a center of excellence model, a bit like you were talking about with center of excellence for robotic process automation. That center of excellence then controls security, compliance, intellectual property, vetting, risk, enables that center of excellence to tap into additional skills from other platforms to meet specific demand, and then enables them to be delivered to their client teams. An incredibly innovative model, which is making such a difference to UST. I'll just finish in the last 10 seconds. This is a headline from the Times, which was, I think, last Tuesday. Talent shortage, what talent shortage? Which basically says, if you know where to look, you will be able to find talent globally. There isn't a shortage of talent, it's just not in the same places. It's not the same shape, it's not the same size. You need a change in mindset and outlook to be able to access talent. It exists. There are 34% growth in freelancing during 2021. 1.3 trillion contributed to the US economy and annual earnings in 2021 through freelancing. There are 2 new talent platforms coming up every week. As I say, we track 600. Deloitte say there are 800, and there probably are by now. But if you know where to look, and if you're prepared to work in an on-demand, elastic, freelance way, then you will be able to find the talent that you're looking for. If you are interested in open talent, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about it, that's me, B Matthews at open-assembly.com or openassembly.com. Have a look at our website. A whistle-stop tour. I hope you've caught up some of the time, Kerry, and I hope that was useful.
As ever, Barry, that was absolutely brilliant. I loved all of those quotes that you shared. You know, I'm hugely passionate about open talent, and that think it is really going to be the biggest game changer for the outsourcing industry since the offset of offshoring. So those that aren't already on board with it need to get on board with it. So so thank you, Barry. Really appreciate you spending your time with us.